Hi everybody, I'm back again with another and actually the last video for this left hand side of the Folio-ish thing. Folio-ish journal, that's right. And just to let you know that last time when I folded that like that and folded it in, that was actually I was wrong. Everything's right except it just needs to fold that way. Okay, so that way with the acetate on the front and the tab on your left hand side of this front piece. So everything else was fine. It was just that. So now the only bit left is the bit that comes over the front and a little tab that comes up from the bottom, and they tie, and it's going to keep all this in place when it's filled up, because it's going to be it'll be quite chunky when it's filled up actually. So let's have a look at the last one and get some measurements and see what's what. So that measures a little over 5. So let's cut a piece off at 5 inches or a little over 5. Is that what I said? Yeah, I think so. Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to pick my book up here. It wants to fall to pieces. Don't do that. Right, there we go. So this is where we were. That's the page that we used last time. So I'll leave it for now if I've got an alternative. This one. Ooh, that's nice, isn't it? And then we're into the 6x6s. This is a really, really nice page. I love those flowers on the background. That's what we used on the cover of this one that we're doing now. Oh, I don't know, can't bring myself to use it. It's too nice. That's a ridiculous situation, isn't it? And this one, which we used last time. No, I can't use any of them. I'll go back to this newer pad that I've got. See what that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Let's use that. I had used quite a lot of paper out that other one, so it's done good duty, and there's still, as I say, 2 beautiful pages in there. So 5 inches was it? I've forgotten now because of all the shenanigans. Yeah, 5 inches. So let's cut. Yeah, just bulldoze everything down with my ruler. That's it. Right. So do I want it on that side? That's it. Maybe this side. I don't know. Oh, let's bring my bin a little closer. Five inches, which is there by my reckoning. Oh, this memoranda paper. It's fabulous. I love it. Actually, I need 2 pieces. Thinking this through now, I need 2 pieces that are 5 inches. So let's cut 2 out of the 1 piece. That'll be fine. There we go. Actually, I think I'll use that side. It's just a slightly more interesting piece than that. Lovely. There we are. So we've got that left as a remnant. You'll soon get through a paper pad, which if you're stash busting is good news. So they're actually going to go back to back. And let's just have a look what's on the other side. That's quite nice actually, isn't it? No, don't suck it in to it. Right, so what I want to do is cut out. Let me just explain to you something first. I have printed this out. It is a image from a Tim Holtz CD-ROM that I've got. I've got two Timmy CD-ROMs. One's called, I can't even remember what's one called. Mr. F, do you remember?
One's called Elements.
Elements. And the other is it Ensemble or something like that? They're called Tim Holtz Distressables, and they're from way back in the day. If you ever get to see the images, they were Tim in his very early days, and a lot of them are not great, to be honest. But this one I really like. He still uses this. He still uses the ruler bits in ephemera packs, so that's done him good duty, hasn't it? But I've decided to print this out, and I'm going to use it as an acetate window in this piece here to come over the top of. I just used tracing paper. I guess you could print on vellum. I guess you could print on acetate. I just used tracing paper because I know it prints on my printer and everything's okay. So I want to have these. I'm going to clip them together. And then I can cut out the centre out of both at the same time. Ha ha, getting wise. Oh, here comes Mr. F with the aforementioned CDs. Thanks, my dear. Yeah, Distressables Elements. And it says 345 digital images. And they are these sort of things. Book covers, clock faces. There, can you see that better?
All on the back.
Oh, Mr. F standing there doing that. What? Yeah, these are them. They're very small, but they are things like this: tickets and tape measures, what have you. And then this one, which is a distressable papers and vintage frames, is the one that mine came out of. It's that one there, the tape measures one. I would not recommend that you go out and hunt these down, because you'll be disappointed when you get them. I mean, there are some good images in them, like the one I've just printed out, but not very many. So I don't know whether there's another one, because this is number 0941 and this is 0943. So for all I know, there could be a 0942. Ah, Mr. F's saying yes. It's alphabets, isn't it?
Alphas and numericals.
Alpha and numericals. Yeah, suddenly it just came to me. I don't have that, to be honest. I don't care if I never have it. But that's what I'm talking about anyway. They sometimes do come up on eBay, so add it to your search list if you're interested, and it will pop up when it comes on. So that's all I know about that. Right, let's see if I can clip these together and keep them where I want them. So some of you have received a little stamper thing in the post from Mr. F, and the idea was that you'd send them out, people would use them, and if they had any problems then they could get back to him and he could I don't know, change the formula somehow, I don't know. But the prototypes really that have gone out, and I'll let you know how that goes, and if it goes well then they will definitely be for sale. I can't imagine that it would go anything but well, really. This is mine. She's already inked up, but that's fine because that's what I look like. So she's got purple hair and glasses. She's smiling, so she's happy, and a cardigan on, button-up cardigan. And Mr. F asked people when they got theirs if they would paint theirs in, you know, a likeness of them, or I guess, you know, whatever. But that's mine. And it's got stainless steel screw in there, so it's It's not going to rust or anything. And they're quite nice things actually. I really like them. Dead handy for stamping. But that's an aside. That's got nothing to do with anything. Right, so I'm going to draw on this and I'm going to come in 1/2 inch, which isn't much. In fact, on the bottom I might even come in 3/4 inch. Just so I've got room to put my eyelet in. Couldn't remember the word. Right, so I want to draw a fairly prominent line there. And then the rest I want it at 1/2 inch. I'm sure 1/2 inch is big enough. Question is how big do I want it? That's a very good question. So bearing in mind I've already done one, I'll measure it. So from where the hinge is to the bottom is about 7 1/8, to be honest. And then we'll deal with the hingey bit. So 7 1/8. It's an odd number, isn't it? Doesn't have to be, but somewhere about that. So there we are. I'm going over a pin, so it's not going to be ideal. To there. That's the whole thing. So I need to come down a little bit, because that's where my spiny part, my hinge part's going to start. So I need to come down 3/4 inch, I'd say, from there, from that mark. Draw my line there, and then 1/2 inch down this side. I'll go over those measurements again with you because that was a bit all over the place. Whoops. Drawn around my thumb. Right, so the square that I'm cutting out is 3/4 inch up from the bottom. The sides measure 1/2 inch and they go up from this bottom line that we marked at 3/4 inch, and it's a little over 6 to where that box starts. So let's just draw that out. So here's my piece of card here, and I've drawn a line there, and that's 3/4 inch. I'll hold it up for you because I appreciate you can't see that, I'm too far away. That's 1/2 inch. That's 1/2 inch. And from here to here is about 6 inches. Okay. So there you go, that's our two pieces of card back to back. I've drawn a line 3/4 inch up from the bottom, 1/2 inch in from the edges, and this bottom line to the top line needs to be about 6 inches. Okay? I hope that makes sense. So this bottom bit from here to here is 3/4, the sides are 1/2 inch, and then from that first line we drew to the next line, that's 6 inches. So that's kind of that. So I want to cut that out. I might just have to move that paper clip a little bit. It's kind of not helpful where it is. So I'm going to cut the bottom one first. So I'm cutting through both at this stage. Line that up on the bottom with 3/4 and follow the lines. And then I might have to move this again because it's now in my way there. Still in my way. Could you be more in my way, do you think? So 1/2 inch in, and these wrong side. These Tim Holtz rulers are brilliant because they've got all these measurements on them. So follow the lines that you've drawn. So from that corner, bearing in mind you're going through 2, so you may need to press on a little more than usual. Then along that top one. To the corner and then down this side. I think it's probably just that one. I can probably remove that and I'll be okay, I think. So down this last side. So take your time when you're using your knife and be very careful. Point of using them is that they're so sharp, so don't endanger yourself. So that should drop out. Top one's dropped out. This one nearly, but not. That last line that I did is not, doesn't want to come out. So let's do it again. I can feel that most of it has actually. Just check this one as well. It's because there's 2 thicknesses of card in there. You've really got to press on. There. You want to come out now? Everything but that one, that's it. Right, so we've got 2 fabulous remnants there. Fabulous. So they can go in my remnants box for this project. So I can take my paper clips off now. They've done their job, I feel. If you've got removable tape that you use for dies or something like that, that would work as well. Right, so let's ink around there. Don't worry about this top part yet. We'll come to that. But let's ink around that inner frame. Which is always a bit floppy, but it does make a difference inking around it, really does. Looks a bit naked without it. Naked. Ooh. Let's see if I've got a glue rubber. I haven't got a decent rubber at the moment, so I'm just, or eraser probably, I should call it, nearer the mark. But my glue eraser seems to work quite well. Just need to get rid of those lines, because once I ink over them, they're going to be there forever and a day. That's alright, that's alright, that's alright. Okay. Oh, might be a little bit there. Grand. So carry on inking. I hope you're pleased with it. If you're following along and you've got to this stage, I hope you're really pleased with yourself, because you should be. Because you're following me, and sometimes I can be a blithering idiot. But we have fun, don't we? We get things wrong occasionally, but that's all right. Not wrong, just different. And you might have even done some things slightly different to how I've done them. That's okay, don't worry about it. Do not worry. Who wants to be the same anyway? Be unique. Just make sure it works, that's all. You know, that everything folds up where it should. So it's all going to fit on that one side. I haven't started the second side in my other journal, so I'm really looking forward to doing that. It is weird when you start because you have to find ways to contort your brain into how you... It's always the hinge bits are always the difficulty. How you're going to actually make it fix onto the thing without it being visible. And that's kind of the bit I like, if I'm honest with you. Right, so there's my two pieces, the back and the front. So I'm going to, there's plenty of this, it's just one sheet, and it's, as I say, it's tracing paper, so it's nothing fancy. And I'm just going to put that in the window. And I think that'll look quite nice. I think that looks really nice, actually. So let's just mark that where we want it. So quite near to the edge on the sides, because we haven't got a lot of room to play with there. I'm going to mark it in, well, I would have marked it in white, but I don't know what I did with the pen. My table is crying out for help. Help me. I honestly don't know where I put it. It normally lives in my pot, but no, it's not there. Well, never mind. Oh, I must have found a... I'm not even sure what that is, but never mind. So I'm going to make a mark there. That's great, I can see that. And just a line above there. Okay. So let's get the big chopper out. That's one thing I really can't wait to do, is to clean this blooming desk off. I hate it when it's like this. It puts me off crafting actually when my desk's really a mess. So let's get that where we want it. Get that nice and level on the bottom. Move it in a little bit. Okay, it's very thin, this tracing paper. There we are. I can't see as I'm going to really want that for anything, a little bit of tracing paper. Although you never know, do you? I'm going to keep it. And let's cut this off. Excuse me, where we made the mark. And then I want another piece exactly the same for the other side, so let's just offer that up there and make a mark where I want to cut that, which is about there, and cut that off. Amazing what you can get out of one sheet of paper when you really try. There we go. And I'm definitely keeping that. I mean, that's just a lovely remnant. Okay, so let's just check that they fit in there. And they do beautifully. Excellent. So let's get those stuck down in there. Don't worry about the top bit. Don't even bother inking it or anything like that. We'll come to that in a little while. So let's get the glue. This isn't going to be a pocket or anything. It's purely for show, to be honest with you.
Like me?
Yeah, like you. My show pony. You've got to hope I never take to sitting on your back. Oh, you thought you had a bad back now. Right, I don't think there's an up and a... Oh, there might be an up and a down. Okay. So that's where that's going to go. So I want that like that. Okay. So just make sure you've got those edges covered. That's the important bit, because we haven't got a lot of room there. So there we go. Let's have a look and see. Oh, doesn't that look lovely? It's really nice. So let's give that a good bone foldering. So we needn't put washi on the top of that. Nothing's going to go in here. As I say, it's just for show. And this one needs the same treatment. Just a bit of glue around the outside. Yeah, and this country tracing paper is much less expensive than vellum or acetate or anything, and yet it prints so nicely and looks like vellum, looks like printed vellum. So why would I not use it? So this one, is there an uppie and a downy? I think it's that way. So pop that on as well. It's not such a nice day today, so Catkin's disappointed because the side window isn't open. He hasn't got a cat flap because if he did, he'd just bring all manner of things into the house. So he's devoid of a cat flap. But when the side window in the living room here is open, he can go in and out at will, and he likes that. But it's been taken away from him today because they're not very warm. Okay, so I've got my cream paper again, but I just need one piece because these are going to go back to back, so I just need one piece in the middle. So I need to cut that about there, and on the top to bottom I need to cut it about there, let's say. Right, so let's take that long bit off the top first. And then I really don't want that piece. And then cut this piece out. Oh, I've still got a nice, useful piece there. Good news on the Velcro dots. I found them. Mr. F searched everywhere, high and low, for which I really appreciate the help in trying to find them. But still no luck. And eventually I went to the most obvious place that I'd searched 20 times, Mr. F had searched 20 times, no joy. And then I found it. It was in the drawer where it should be, but it was stuck underneath something else. So anyway, long and the short of it is we've got them. That's great. So I can put those on my envelope at the back. So that's what that's going to look like with the cream paper behind. I mean, ooh, that's delicious. So let's put some glue around the outside of here. Come on, glue. If you've just got acetate and you know that you can print on it, then print anything you like out. Print flowers. We've used flowers in all the other acetate windows, so there's nothing wrong with printing flowers out. I don't want to lose you at this stage because you haven't got that Tim Holtz CD, DVD, whatever the heck, because it's really not necessary. I'm using it because I've got it. It would be silly not to. So there we go, that's that. And now I just need to look at the difference that cream paper makes behind it. Just really brings it to life, doesn't it? And so now we need to stick this one in place. So just around the very edge. The very edge. Up here. Just along there. And I do want to go up a little bit. I want to go up, let's say 1.5 inches. like that. Okay, so make sure that you square that up, and there we have it. Lovely. That looks good to me. I think so. Yeah, I think so. Let's press that down. I think that looks nice. Okie dokie, let's put the lid back on that. Linda sent me a like a glue stand that you don't need to put your I've just got a bit here that hasn't stuck. I don't know why. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to there. Yeah, a glue stand where you don't need to keep putting the lid back on your glue all the time. So I am really excited to receive that, because it's a right pest having to keep putting the glue lid back on. And if you don't, it just dries up in there, because this is a precision one, it just dries up in there. And no glue comes out, so I'm looking forward to that. Thank you very much, Linda. Right, so that's going to go on there. Okay, so let's compare it to that one. Oh, I think I'm going to have to chop a little bit off that bottom, because I've made this quite a bit longer, which is alright, that's alright. I'm going to chop that off, so that just measures 1/2 inch. This is what I was saying to you about don't ink anything yet, because things can change. I think I'm going to have to mark that because I haven't got a 1/2 inch measurement. 1/2 inch. Oh no, I want it 1/2 inch the other way. 1/2 inch from the bottom of the acetate, which is there. I could cut that with scissors if I thought I could cut straight, but I can't, so I'll just chop it off. There we go. Okay, I should have cut it with scissors because it doesn't want to cut with my chopper. Okay, that's fine. It's got round that problem. I think maybe the glue is still dry, or maybe it's just too much in there. 2 thicknesses of card, 2 thicknesses of tracing paper, and that little copy paper. It's just too much for it. But not to worry, we're there now. It's got a little bit of tattiness on there. Right, so what I want to do now is, let's just compare that and see. That's all right, that's fine. So just about 1/4 inch above where the acetate stops, I need to be marking in, looking for my thing, my hinge. And it's going to be quite a big hinge, this one, because it's got to go right over all the other pieces that we've put in and allow for ephemera to go in there. So I've got that on 3, I think that's just about on 3, yeah. So I'm going to come back 1/4 inch, which is 2 3/4, but it doesn't matter, it's just 1/4 inch away from where this acetate window stops. So there. Ooh. That's quite tough to score actually, that. And then 1/8 inch for an inch. Every pip. I'm going to try it on my other scoreboard because that's not really working. So that's my first one there. Second. Third. Oh, same one. Fourth. Fifth. Sixth. Seventh. And eighth. Right, so now I've got an inch long. Can you see all those ridges there? That's going to be my hinge. So it can fold anywhere from the first one that we did right through to that end of that inch. So let me just make that a bit deeper. Okay, we're getting on, don't worry. Making progress. So let's fold that there. Let's put the ruler on it. On it there, I think, and just bring that up. If you ever get things that are really awkward to bend, this is a good way of doing it. Put your ruler on and just fold it up. Right through to the last one. You don't need to do every one, but just so quite a bit of it is done like that. Still don't think, and you'll see it wants to curl back on itself now. Still don't think I've got that very first one done. It's hard to see those lines. Just put a little line there. That's my first one. And that's that end of it. So just there and just there, and fold that right up. That's better. That's better. Right. So now you see how your paper wants to naturally go like that, which is great because that's going to form our. And you know, one of these could equally as well be in the front or the back. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so now I can ink. So let's ink around there. You can knock around the corners of this off if you want. You know I'm not a great one for rounding corners. So I want to ink up the side of all of those ridges. And then put some ink on some of the ridges. Just a matter of where we can get to. That's fine, that would be great. And then the same on the other side. Somebody said to me in a comment that they craft along with me when I'm doing this. I just hope I don't make any boo-boos that I change later on and you've already done whatever it is. Because I'm not beyond the odd boo-boo, as you may have noticed. But so many of you have said to me that you like to keep the boo-boos in because then you... Two things, you know I'm human, which I can assure you I am only human. And the other thing is they learn how to fix them because, you know, likely they'll have done something similar themselves or whatever, So you learn how to put it right. Or not. Or put it in the bin and start again. So it's just a bit of ink on there. Right, so that's fine. Now all we need on that is an eyelet at the bottom. So let's see, we made it 5 inches. That makes my maths easy. So the hole's going to go at 2.5, which is there. So let's do that. I'll lay one out as well for the little tab that goes on the bottom. Oh, got that in the wrong place. Need to set it. There we go. Fine. That's that. I'll just lay that to there. 10 to 1 on, I'll lose it, but you know, I have laid it out. There we go. Right, so that's that. I can stick that on my envelope base if I want to now. Actually, I don't know what I'm telling you that for. I don't need all of this. Let's just see how much we comfortably need there. I want quite a bit of expansion on this. Quite a bit. So maybe down to the, you know, allow the whole inch for it really. Which would be there. So what does that look like? I think that's all right. I think we need to allow all of that. Because these things have a terrible habit of expanding. Their girth expanding, a bit like me. So what I'm going to do then is chop. I'm going to allow 1/2 inch to glue on, and I'm going to chop the rest off. Hopefully it'll chop this time. Let's try this one, see if I have any more luck. So just, you know, 1/2, 3/4, whatever you feel like leaving, that'll be fine. It's going to get stuck to the back of the envelope anyway. So let's... That's a bit better, isn't it? So, we've got ink everywhere, yep. Let's put some colour on there and stick that down. I remember when we did the purple mega flippy floppy thing, a lot of you, I'm thinking about Janya in particular because I know she had a problem. I had a similar problem. I hadn't made the hinges big enough, and when it came to decorating them, they had nowhere to grow to. So I'm sticking my first line of ridges onto the envelope there, like that. Kind of centre-ish as you can get it. I think that's about right. So let's just make sure that we're square, everything's all right. Yeah, hold that there, and then we're just going to press that down. So you can see all the bits that we've stuck on here, but they're hidden. Once the envelope is down, they're hidden. Who the heck's going to see these behind everything? Nobody. There we are. Let's just turn that over and see. Yeah, look at that. It's gorgeous. Not lovely. But we need something to tie this to. So we've got this bit that we've just cut off, the top. It's just a little bit too big, I think. I mean, we want to allow for expansion and allow for expansion on here. But even then, I don't think I need it that big. I think I'm just going to cut that bit off there. So I've still got two bits together here. And I'm just going to trim that off. So there's my two separate pieces, but they're going like that. And do I want that? Yeah, I do. I like that. It's very Timified, isn't it? So let's glue those together. I can just use my ordinary EVA for that. I've done so much crafting my EVAs. Getting down. It's not empty, but there we go, and stick those together top to top like that. Oops, I forgot I had no moving around with this. Once it's stuck, it's stuck. Ah, come off, that's not right. Well, look how quickly that sticks. It's unbelievable. That's just not right at the bottom. Come on. Play ball. Phew, there we go. Can't believe how quickly that sticks, can you? It's just incredible. You really have got to get it right first time. Okay, so now we want to see how long we want this bit to be. I want it to look right now, but I also want it to have enough room to expand. So I'm just going to, this red line here, that's where I'm going to say, I'm going to start my hinge from. And that is 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches from the top. Then I'm going to put a load of ridges in there. I'm going to get this board out because it's just a bit easier with double. You alright, Mr. F?
Yep. You, my dear?
Yeah, just when you start prowling I get a bit worried. That's not 1.5 inches. What am I telling you that for? Yeah. I'm going to start from 1.5 inches. So I've got 1.5 inches plain here at the top. Then from 1.5 inches I'm going to start putting my ridges in. Every eighth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, so that hasn't left me much to glue onto the back, but enough. It will be enough. Okay, so let's just get my ruler and do that thing that we did before. Where's my first line? There. So I'm just going to start folding this up. You really don't have to do every single line, but just enough so it gets the idea to curl round. And where's my first line? There it is. Let's make sure we get that one done. So there we go. That's that little hinge. I don't think I've even done that first one. Let's try again. That one. There we go. So we've got a nice little hinge there. That's the bit that's going to get stuck onto the back of the envelope. That's the bit that comes over. And for this, I want to just round the corners. I'm going to use the 10 millimeter one. I forgot how to speak there. There we go, that's fine. That's what I was aiming for. So let's ink it. I feel like this has been a longer video than it probably ever needed to be, but it's just the way things go sometimes, isn't it? So just ink random bits of your hinge, just so it doesn't look naked. That was especially for Judy. So there we are, just a little bit on the inside as well. You'll never really see this, to be honest, but you know, just in case. So just a little bit of ink down there. Right, okay. So now we can stick that on. So like I say, I haven't left myself an enormous amount, but that's okay. That's going to come like that. There'll be plenty of room for expansion there, which is great. So let's put the hole in first before I glue it on. It's much easier that way. So this measures 3.5, so that's 1 3/4. Whew, did you notice that speedy maths? Some part of my brain must still be working. So let's, as I say, let's do that. And have I lost? No, I have not lost it. I'll have you know. There we go. So let's put the collal on, get that stuck to the back of the envelope. And call it done pretty much. Got to put the twine in. So where is the middle of this? That's the question. I think it's about there. Let's see. Yeah, looks pretty good. My goodness. So give that a really good press down. Because the good thing about collal is that it moves. The bad thing about collal is that it moves. So there we are, I'm quite happy with that there. I'll just get my bone folder and just go over that. Let's just check once again that I'm happy with its positioning before it dries. Yeah, I don't think I could have done much better than that actually. So let's get some twine. Have I got the twine out? No. I'm just going to use this thin twine and I'm going to use it double. That's probably way more than I need, but you know, hey ho. Pass that through from the back to the front. I like this way of closing it better than a string and button enclosure. I'm determined to call that an enclosure. I don't know why, I'm not awfully keen on them really. But you can do that if you want to. You know, you can, it's your journal. Do as you wish. There we are, and that's just going to tie together. I think I've cut one way too long and one not long enough, but that's easily solved, isn't it? Oh, there we are, not too bad. I'll just cut that off because I know it's going to annoy me. I might have to put new ones in, but right, so that is that side complete, apart from it needs to get stuck into its folder. So It's going on the left hand side. And let's just check that the measurements are all right. Yes. Lovely. This hinge that we've just put on in this one might stick out a little bit. Don't worry about that, because once they're fattened up, they won't stick out the bottom. Don't worry about that. So let's get the collal out and go to town. So don't stick over your hinges, or they'll cease being hinges. So if you followed, or could follow, or were able to follow my ramblings, then you should be at this stage too. And you'll feel really accomplished. I do. You know, I've done it. It's amazing. I'm amazed. And yes, we still have another side to go. I'm aware of that. There we go. But that's not a problem. Right, so that just wants to step in just a touch from that outside edge. And not including this bit, the rest of the envelope needs to be just a little bit in from the bottom and a little bit in from the top. It should just fit in there nicely, and that should fit along there nicely, which it does. Yeah, I think we're all right there. I think we are okay. Let's give that a good press down. See, I'm opening this already, because I want to get to the envelope and give it a good press down. Right, here we go. So give it a really good press. And there we go. And seeing as we're at this spot and I've found my Velcro dots, I'm going to put those on my envelope. These are Velcro own brand, and they're the only ones I've found that are good, really. The rest are a bit a little bit pants. So yeah, they're really sticky as well, which is good. So I'm going to put one in that corner there, and they're very thin and they're clear. So if you're looking for them on Amazon or wherever, I've just had a look actually and I couldn't see them on Amazon, but you know, there might be again soon. Amazon stock comes and goes. You're looking for the ultra thin clear Velcro dots, and there's loads of other brands on there that look like they're possibly Chinese. They are not what we're after. I have tried those. I've been there for you. And trust me, they're not really good. They're too thick, and so that just, you stuck one down. Now you put the furry side to the comb side, press that down. Getting them off this paper is a bit of a chore, to be fair. So furry side to the rough side, like that. And then just fold it over and it'll find its own way, and they will stick down. So the next time you come to look in there, you'll have some little Velcro catches, if you like. So let's just make this up again. So that goes in, then that goes in, then this goes in, then that goes in, that comes over there, that comes over there, and they tie together. Like so, and there we have it. There's our first section. So as I say, don't be worried about that or that. They will get taken up as the journal gets bulkier. So, you know, it'll grow like that. So that'll be fine. Phew, so there we go. That's our... It just dawned on me, I hadn't checked which way was up. I hadn't checked that I was actually sticking that to the front, so fortunately I was. So I would say leave that well enough alone now for a good 12 hours or so. Let it all stick up properly. And then the next time I see you, we'll be doing this side. Starting that side. Woohoo! Lovely. Okay guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that's been followable, really, and I hope you like it. There's the other one that I did, so you can see the different papers make it look very different, don't they? I like both. I couldn't pick which one I like best. I love them both. So see you real soon. Take care now. Bye.